I used Dewalt for 11 years. Drills, saws, grinders, impact drivers, the whole yellow ecosystem. And last year I sold every single piece of it. Not because it broke, because I finally did the math. And the math is embarrassing for Dewalt. Today I'm going to show you exactly what changed, what I switched to, and why the pros I know stopped recommending yellow a long time ago. Stay till the end, because the last thing I show you is going to make you look at that Dewalt on your shelf differently. Hard cut, montage of Dewalt tools, then competitor tools side by side. 3 seconds. Before you close this and go defend Dewalt in the comments, I get it, I was that guy, but the data doesn't care about brand loyalty. Let me show you what I found. Let's start with the thing Dewalt doesn't want you to notice. If you've been using Dewalt since the early 2000s, you've felt it. The tools just feel different now. Lighter, cheaper plastic, less torque on paper specs that used to mean something. Here's what happened. Stanley Black & Decker acquired Dewalt and spent the next decade optimizing the brand for margin, not performance. Manufacturing moved. Material specs changed. The price stayed the same, or went up. I'm not guessing. Go look at Amazon reviews on any Dewalt tool. Filter by most recent, then filter by 2015 and earlier. The language changes completely. 2015, built like a tank, still going after 8 years. 2023, stopped working after 14 months. That's not a coincidence. That's a strategy. And here's the thing that really bothered me. The price didn't go down when the quality did. You're paying premium price for a mid-range tool, but quality drift alone wouldn't make me switch. The next issue is what actually did it. Dewalt's battery ecosystem. This is how they keep you. You buy one drill, you buy the platform. Every new tool you add locks you in deeper. Switch brands and you lose every battery you own. Smart strategy for them, terrible for you. Because here's what happened in 2022. Dewalt released the PowerStack battery, a new format that's not fully backwards compatible with the full range of older tools. They fragmented their own ecosystem. Guys who spent 5 years building out the 20 volts max platform suddenly had to decide, buy into PowerStack or stay on the old system, knowing Dewalt is pushing development resources toward the new one. That's not a brand that respects your investment. That's a brand managing you toward the next purchase. Milwaukee has had the same M18 platform since 2009. Same battery. Works on every tool they've made in 15 years. That's what loyalty to your customer looks like. Platform fragmentation is the money issue. But the performance issue? That one's personal. Dewalt drills say 60 Newton meters of torque. Milwaukee M18 Fuel says 75. Makita says 80. You'd think that's the whole story. It's not. Torque on a spec sheet is peak torque, the maximum the tool can produce for a fraction of a second under ideal conditions. It tells you almost nothing about real-world sustained performance. I ran the same 3-inch deck screws through pressure-treated lumber, same battery charge level, same operator. Dewalt bogged down at screw 40. Milwaukee drove 60 without a hesitation. Makita drove 70. Same price range, completely different result. And I've talked to framers, finish carpenters, electricians, the people who run tools 8 hours a day. Almost none of them are on Dewalt anymore. Not because of brand loyalty to someone else, because Dewalt stopped earning it. Here's the part that surprises most people. It's not just Milwaukee that's better now. Say Ryobi to a serious tool person and watch them laugh. I used to laugh too. Here's what changed. Ryobi's One Plus platform now has over 300 tools on a single battery. 300. Dewalt has maybe 200 on their 20-volt max. And the gap in performance between Ryobi's brushless line and Dewalt's standard line? Smaller than it's ever been. For a homeowner doing weekend projects, a deck, some shelving, basic electrical work, Ryobi One Plus brushless gives you 80% of the performance at 50% of the price. I'm not saying Ryobi is better than Dewalt for professional use. I'm saying for the way most people actually use tools. Dewalt is charging you for a performance level you'll never need. That's not a deal. That's marketing. And if Ryobi surprised you, The next one is going to actually annoy you. Makita, blue, Japanese. Quiet. They don't sponsor every YouTube channel. They don't have a celebrity ambassador. They just make tools. Here's the thing about Makita that almost nobody talks about on camera. Because half of YouTube is sponsored by either Dewalt or Milwaukee. Makita's brushless motors run cooler than both. Cooler motor means longer tool life. Longer tool life means lower cost over 5 years. A Makita 18-volt L XT drill has been on the market in essentially the same form since 2012. Same battery, same platform, no fragmentation, no forced upgrades. The battery compatibility alone makes Makita the smarter long-term buy for anyone who takes their tool investment seriously. I switched half my shop to Makita 18 months ago. Not one tool has given me a problem. Meanwhile, I know 3 guys still dealing with warranty claims on Dewalt tools they bought in the last 2 years. That's not a sample size. That's a pattern. Okay, we've talked about brands. Now let's talk about the one Dewalt product that's actually still worth buying. Because I'm not here to just bury them. 6 things in. And I know half of you are already typing a comment about how your Dewalt has been running for 10 years and never let you down. I believe you. The old stuff was great. That's exactly my point. The second half of this video is where I get specific, which Dewalt tools are still worth buying, which ones to avoid completely, and the one purchase decision that will cost you the most money if you get it wrong. Don't skip this part. Dewalt FlexVolt. This is where Dewalt still leads. The FlexVolt battery switches voltage automatically. 20 volts on standard tools, 60 volts on power-hungry tools like miter saws and table saws. No competitor does this as cleanly. For a mixed shop where you need both handheld tools and stationary tools on one battery platform, FlexVolt is genuinely clever. If you're running a miter saw, a table saw, and a circular saw, and you want one battery system for all of it, FlexVolt is still the answer. But here's the catch. FlexVolt tools are expensive. The batteries are expensive. And you need to be actually using that 60-volt capacity to justify the price. If you're a homeowner using a miter saw twice a year, you don't need FlexVolt. You need a corded saw and a Milwaukee drill. Context matters, which brings me to the biggest mistake people make when switching away from Dewalt. When people decide to switch brands, they make one mistake. They add up what the new tools cost. They don't add up what the old tools are worth. Here's the math most people miss. A Dewalt 20-volt max battery, 5.0 ampere hours, sells used on Facebook Marketplace for $35 to $50 right now. A drill sells for $60 to $80. An impact driver, $50 to $70. If you have a full Dewalt kit, drill, impact, circular saw, 2 batteries, charger, you're sitting on $200 to $300 in resale value. Sell it. Use that money toward the new platform. The net cost of switching is much lower than people think. I sold my Dewalt kit in 4 days on Marketplace. Got $280. That covered 2 Milwaukee tools and a battery. Don't let sunk costs keep you on a platform that's not serving you. The money's already spent either way. The question is what you do next. And the next tool is the one where staying on Dewalt costs you the most in the long run. The impact driver. This is the tool most tradespeople use more than any other. And this is where the performance gap between Dewalt and the competition is the most obvious. Dewalt DCF 887, 1,825 inch-pounds of torque, $129. Milwaukee 2853-20, 2,000 inch-pounds, $149. Makita X DT16, 1,800 inch-pounds. But brushless efficiency means it drives 20% more screws per charge than the Dewalt. Same job, same battery level. Makita finishes with charge left. Dewalt needs a swap. On a framing job, that's an hour of lost productivity per day. Multiply that over a year if you're a pro. For a DIYer, it means 1 less battery swap per project. Doesn't sound like much until it's 6 p.m. and you're trying to finish a deck. The impact driver is the single tool where I tell anyone, regardless of what platform they're on, Look at Makita or Milwaukee before you pull the trigger on Dewalt. 2 tools left. And the last one is the one I wish someone had told me before I spent $1,400 building out my Dewalt kit. Here's the thing nobody says because it doesn't make for a clean video. You don't have to pick one brand. Corded tools, brand almost doesn't matter. A corded circular saw from Skillsaw costs $89 and outcuts a $200 Dewalt cordless every day of the week. Corded jigsaw, corded router. Buy on price and reviews, not brand. For cordless, pick one battery platform and commit. Milwaukee M18 if you're a pro or serious DIYer. Makita 18 volts LXT if you value longevity and motor efficiency. Ryobi 1 Plus if you're a homeowner who wants maximum tool variety at lower cost. Dewalt 20 volts max, only if you're already deep in the ecosystem and the resale math doesn't work in your favor. Or if you need FlexVolt for a specific reason. That's the actual answer. Not Dewalt is dead, because it's not. But Dewalt is no longer the default right answer, because it isn't. The default right answer is do the math for your situation. And the math almost never lands on Dewalt in 2026. Last thing, I'm going to put a question in the comments right now. Dewalt or Milwaukee? One word, because I genuinely want to know where this audience is. And because the answer is going to tell me what video to make next. Drop it below. I read everyone. 11 years on Dewalt, switched 18 months ago. Haven't looked back once. If you're still on the fence, I made a video on the exact tools worth buying before prices go up. Real numbers,